I understand the issues there, but this is what I get a sense of, Judge. This young man he's in junior high. We all know how brutal middle school kids can be. He cannot read. I can only imagine what kind of abuse he takes, his inability to read. If we can get him reading Dr. Seuss, and I believe his confidence would go through the roof. If this young man could actually read a book. Now, beyond that, I do encourage, the continued counseling. He's always going to need that. But, I think he's making progress. I think this new placement, I talked to the lady. She said he seemed to have settled in fairly well. They're getting along with him. He'd had a few blow-ups, but she's kind of like, I can deal with it. And so hopefully this will be a good place and he can make a lot of progress. But this is my frustration, Judge, from the very beginning of this case. This young boy has been in public school systems. Now, I do understand his dad had moved him kind of from school to school. It was kind of hard to get some consistency and some ARDs in place and tutorials and stuff like that. But this young boy, he's smart, Judge, and he can learn to read. It's just, I cannot believe in 2025, we've got a 13-year-old man who cannot read Cat in the Hat. And that should not be. And we ought to be able to get that fixed. So,
one other thought to Mr. Heredia on that. If he is, he's in a large enough area, I'm confident they have a literacy council.
Yes.
I wish placement would reach out to the local literacy council and see if we can't get an advocate assigned to him. Someone that would come in and work with him once or twice a week. It happens. We have one here. Those folks are dynamite at what they do.
Because like I said, Judge, I think this kid's confidence would go through the roof if he could read.
So let's do, I am going to make that part of the order. I want them to reach out to the local literacy council and see if we can't get him an advocate. Those people know where to start and how to get us to the finish line. So
yeah, I agree, Judge. They work with first, second, third graders for 3-4 hours a week.
Yep.
Just a half hour, just helping them read. And again, I cannot believe, that this young man got advanced from grade to grade like he did, and we're in this position. But like I said, I see him as making incredible progress if he can just put some sounds to letters and then start putting words together.
Yeah. And this is not directed at anybody in particular, but I'm looking at the court report that got filed, and it shows he's in 6th grade and that he is on grade level. And we all know damn good and well he's not on grade level. So no, folks, let's pay attention to our reports.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Judge, this was the first thing. Yeah, this was the first thing I noticed about him, and this was Braden's position. I can't do anything. The first thing he will tell you is, I can't read. And I'm like, okay, we're going to get that fixed. And
yep.
I guess that's a promise I made to him, and I want it to get fixed.
Okay, we're on it. All right, then.
Thanks.
Today, I will continue the department as TMC, and I'm going to continue placement. Find a continuing danger to return the child home at this time. I'm going to find parents are in compliance with the service plans. They're cooperating with us, and we get going on these visits again. Our next hearing will be June 17th of 2025 at 9 o'clock. I look forward to reading in a court report that he is actively working with literacy individuals, and look forward to hearing how much he's improved. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, and you know what? I announced the wrong date. Hang on. August 26th.
All right.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong piece of paper. August 26th
Gotcha.
of 2025 on a 9 o'clock docket. My apologies.
Okay, I see that. Thank you.
All right, thank you all.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I stayed awake all night doing a brief last night, and I looked at my calendar before I went to bed, and I didn't see this, so I'm sorry.
Okay, you missed
Elijah.
yeah, you missed a Morehead case this morning.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got, I know Ms. Katie probably has emailed you a phone number. We just wanted to make sure you had a correct number.
Yes, I spoke with Elijah just a little while ago, so.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir.
Good rest of the day.
Okay, you too. Cause number 99926D in the interest of Lyric Porter. We're here set for an adversary hearing today. We are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming and Ms. Taylor is making our record. All right, with personal service on Ms. Sanchez and also on Mr. Porter. So we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We're present, ready, Your Honor.
Vince Nowak on behalf of Shania Sanchez. I am present and ready, Judge. I really had hoped to see my client here, but she's not. And maybe to speed things along, I did talk to her yesterday, had a good long conversation. She is willing to work services. I wanted her here today. Well, whenever it's my time to talk, I'll tell you why I really wanted her here today. But thank you. I'm ready, Judge.
All right.
JC Zavala on behalf of the child.
Okay. Well, all right. I guess the issue is, Mr. Nowak, with respect to the mother, do you feel like you have authority to announce that there is an agreement for TMC?
I do. In fact, I believe she's already signed off on the order that's before the court today. So I do have that authority.
Okay. All right, very good. Then we're going to need to take up testimony with respect to Mr. Porter.
Yes, ma'am. And Your Honor, just on as far as Mr. Novak's client, my investigator had spoke to Mom before Mr. Novak got appointed. Mom had signed off on orders. I sent Mr. Novak that copy of the agreed orders, and he told me he'd spoken to her and that we'd be in agreement. And there's a couple of things we'll discuss today as far as Dad, Your Honor. My investigator is out, so his supervisor, Ms. Tucker, will be testifying today as to Dad, but there'll be some requests that we have and something to talk about.
Okay.
But so I'd call Mel Tucker.
All right, Ms. Tucker, solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give us today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You're muted,
You
Mel.
are muted.
I do. Did y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
no problem. All right, you may proceed.
Mel, would you state your name for the record, please?
Mel Tucker.
And Ms. Tucker, how are you employed?
I am a child protection investigative supervisor for the Texas Department of Family Protective Services.
And you are the supervisor for the investigator that worked this case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that investigator was Ruben Martinez?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does the department keep records in the normal course of business?
Yes.
And are those records made by a person with personal knowledge?
Yes.
And are the records made at or around the time the events occurred?
Yes.
Was that done in this case?
Yes.
Are you a custodian of records for the department?
Yes.
Have you reviewed this case file?
Oh, yes.
And did you
Yes,
staff and supervise as this investigation was going on?
Yes, sir.
Was the affidavit filed with the court?
Yes, sir.
And you have reviewed that affidavit
I have.
and the investigative reports?
Yes, sir.
And
I
both, and the investigative report was also filed with the court, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were here just then, you heard announced that Mom is in agreement with the department being named as temporary managing conservator, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we'll discuss dad at this point. During the investigation, did your investigator find out who possible dad was?
So, in the beginning of the investigation, he met with the mom and in the hospital room, and she notified him that the possible or alleged father was a man named Jose, and he goes by Jefe.
Sure.
No last name, no no contact information, no identifying information such as birth date or anything. So she mentioned that.
Did mom state what she had planned to do with the baby after she had it?
Yes, that she was planning on allowing somebody to adopt the baby.
Okay, and did she give the name of that person?
That's when Callum Porter came into the equation.
Okay. But as far as who she originally named as father, it was just Jose, no other information. We have no way to find out who that is.
Right.
Okay.
We have no knowledge who he is.
And up to this point, she still has not given us any other information on that.
No.
Okay. As far as Callum Porter, was your investigator able to speak with him?
Yes. So it was determined that a Callum Porter signed acknowledgement of paternity at the hospital, and on the form marked the box adoption, okay, on the acknowledgement of paternity. Ruben did meet with Mr. Porter, and then Shania said, oh, he could be a possible father. So we met with Mr. Porter. He interviewed him, and he said that we would likely be requesting a paternity test to determine if he was the father. And he said, okay, I'll take the test, but if I'm not the father, I still want to adopt the baby. So we interviewed and we requested him to go drug screen, and then we notified him of the removal and all of that. After Ruben met with mom, this last time mom admitted that Callum was not the father, that they never were in a sexual relationship of any kind, and that they did that because she didn't want to, deal with the department again. So that's why, they presented that way.
Okay.
So
at this time, we have a affidavit of paternity that has been signed by Callum Porter and mom's signature.
yes.
But now mom is saying after that has happened that there's no way that Callum Porter is the father.
Right. They haven't even been in a relationship.
Okay. And we still have no way of finding who mom said originally was father.
Yes, we don't know who Jefe is.
Okay. Based upon the information we have right now, the department would be requesting temporary managing conservatorship of the child.
Yes, sir.
And for parents to work services.
Yes.
Okay. And as far as Callum Porter, would the department like to see a paternity test based upon the conflicting information that we have received through the investigation?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that would be in the best interest of the child?
Yes.
How is the child doing?
She's doing very well.
Okay.
She's eating, sleeping, placement's going well.
Okay. Is she in a foster home or with family?
She's in a foster home.
But everything is going well with the child at this point?
Yes.
Okay. And your investigator, Mr. Martinez, has been able to get in touch with mom when he needs to.
Yeah.
And up to this point.
Well, it's kind of off and on, but he has made contact with her throughout the case at different times.
Okay. And going by the agreement that Mr. Novak announced, mom is cooperating and willing to cooperate at this point.
Yes.
Okay. And do you believe that temporary managing conservatorship to the department's in the best interest of the child at this time?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Nowak.
No questions, Judge.
All right. Ms. Zavala?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Trout, anything further of this witness?
Nothing further of this witness, Your Honor.
I have a quick question because I read, I believe, in the affidavit in support of removal that he had also signed the birth certificate. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. I know he signed the AOP, the acknowledgement of paternity. I'm not 100% sure on the birth certificate.
And Your Honor, I'm not 100% sure on that either. I have a copy of the acknowledgement of paternity. I'm assuming he will be on the birth certificate since he signed that he would be on there, but I don't have a copy of the birth certificate to know if he actually signed on that.
Okay. All right. Apartment rest.
Department of Arrest, Your Honor, the only request we would have is paternity testing.
Yeah.
To try to straighten the situation out.
Yeah. Okay, Ms. Zavala, do you, or Mr. Nowak, any evidence to provide today?
I don't have any evidence. I did have a quick question for Mel. I think you said that you asked Mr. Porter to drug test. Did he drug test? And if so, what were the results?
He did not drug screen. And may I throw out there that your client did not drug screen for us as well.
Okay. Thanks for letting me thanks, Mel, and thank you, Judge Baker. I don't have any evidence to put on, Judge, but I'll just let y'all know that I was really hoping Shania would be here today because having read through the file, it looks like this is her 6th child. And she does seem, just based upon the files that I got from y'all, that she has an issue with illegal drugs. And I was really hoping for one of the famous admonitions or, stern lectures. And if nothing else in this case, I want to get her, and I'm going to do my best, into an inpatient rehab. I can't imagine an OSAR coming back and not recommending that. That's all I have, Judge. Thanks for letting me do that little soapbox thing.
No problem. I think those are infamous lectures. As
They're
opposed
wonderful.
to
I like
famous. Clearly she would probably benefit from it. So I hope you can convince. Okay. Mrs. Zavala, anything to present today?
I have nothing to present, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have a recommendation to make?
I do. I do believe it's in Lyric's best interest to remain in the temporary managing conservatorship of the department. Kelly was able to visit in person in Lubbock. I did have a request about notifications to placement if visits are canceled because they loaded everybody up. They've got multiple kids in the home, and then get there and then told it's canceled. However, that may not be as relevant anymore. I understand that we got some information this morning that Lyric's going to be moving from the home in Lubbock to a new home in Amarillo. It's a home we've worked with before. We've got no concerns about that change. And I do request that in-person visits not happen unless there's a clean drug screen.
All right, then. I do find the evidence is sufficient to name the Department of Family and Protective Services as the temporary managing conservator of the child. I find there will be a continuing danger to return the child to the mother or the alleged fathers at this time, and that the child's health safety would be at continued risk. I am going to order genetic testing on Mr. Porter. I think we've got sort of no choice but to do that now with all of the ifs and maybes that have been thrown at us. And since he signed that AOP, I know Mr. Trout, we're going to need our little special language for the Attorney General.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to order any child support or medical support for mom at this time. I want her to use her resources, hopefully, to seriously work services. I am going to order mom and Mr. Porter both to hair and UA before 4 p.m. tomorrow, May 2nd of 2025. And if drug tests are positive, let me put it this way. If we've got UAs, if we have UAs positive. No, I'm sorry. Let me back up. If any of the drug screens, whether hair or UA, are positive for meth or fentanyl, there will be no in-person visits until we have a clean UA. So if we have a positive hair at first, but a negative UA, I'm still going to say no in-person visits until we get a subsequent negative UA. I mean, I want to get a baseline on these folks and then let us start working with them and so they can have an opportunity to establish that ability to have in-person visits, you know, pretty quickly if that's what they choose to do. So I'll say then there would be no in-person visits until a subsequent negative UA. Okay, I'll see everybody back for our status hearing on June 17th of 2025. That will be on a 9 o'clock docket.
I have
Thank
a quick
you.
question. How soon, and I'm hoping this becomes an issue, how soon does the paperwork get to Care Express? For example, if I called Shania the minute we're done and she can go there, and I know I might be wishful thinking, how quick does the paperwork get there?
As soon as we're done. Oh, y'all are going to send it, right? Sorry, Marvell.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'll have Tasia get it in. So I would say after lunch, she could go anytime.
Thank you very much.
Is Ms. McIntyre going to be on this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Vince, your gal can't have a better opportunity than that right now.
Is that what's that? What's her first name?
Tasia.
I've seen her. She's good. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you.
She's a great rapport with parents.
I've seen her testify. She's really, really good.
She's always prepared.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's just really good with parents. She really is great with them. So, okay. Thank y'all. See you in June.
Thank you, Judge. And
Thank
sorry
you.
to leave the courtroom.
Probably see most of you, you know, before that, but
Thank
see
you.
you
Have a
on
good one,
this in
everyone.
June.
Thanks, y'all.
Okay, Mr. Trout, who are you looking for?
I'll be looking for Ashley Delgado and I think Cassandra Valenzuela should be there too.
So I want to get this straight. We're not supposed to discipline our children with a hammer? Is that what you guys are now saying?
No response.
I'm just reading the investigative report. I've
Judge,
done most of these things. I just wanted to know what's legal and what's not.
Judge, can I speak to Mr. Eldridge real quick? And break it
I think somebody needs to talk to him.
up?
They're over 18.
Let me just clarify really quickly because I've got a lot of other people still in the waiting room. They may be for subsequent cases, but let me just make sure we don't need any of them. I've got Charlene Uwimana, Katressa Finch,
You pick-
Charlene, yes.
Charlene and Katressa, you can bring them in, Your Honor.
all right, I got Charlene in on 2 devices, so we'll see what that's all about.
Okay.
William Brown,
He's next case.
he's the next case, let's see. Misty Fronterhouse,
Next case.
Kelsey Moore,
Next case.
and Robert Ramos.
Who?
Robert Ramos.
I think he might be the new permanency specialist on that next one, the next
Okay.
case.
All right, so I think we got everybody then we need for this one. Okay, so Mr. Trout is wanting to speak with Mr. Eldridge. Mr. Eldridge, I'm gonna put you in room 1. Mr. Trout, you can go back to 1. Do you all want Ms. Zavala or not?
You can put her in there. I mean, it's just a quick conversation with Mr. Eldridge, but if you, Ms.
That's-
Zavala, I mean, she can.
Just if you want her, I'll send her. If not,
Sure, send her on in.
right.
I feel so wanted.
y'all just keep it short.
Will do, Your Honor.
Cause number 960652 in the interest of Isaiah and Ariana Moya. We're here today set for an adversary. We are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement with parties. We're live streaming. Ms. Taylor is making our record. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trial for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We are present and ready, and we'll kind of have an announcement, something to talk about when everybody announces, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm Tate Eldridge. I represent the father, Charles Moya. I've not had any contact with him. We've mailed him the information about the hearing, and I believe we emailed it. But Daniel just told me that my guy's his cell phone may be actually with one of the children, and so he may not be able to contact me. So I'm not sure if he knows about this or not. But I did send him a letter, though.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Isaiah and Ariana.
All right, we've not gotten service on either parent, correct?
Correct, Your Honor, and that's what I was gonna say. They've been issued.
Yeah.
We have not gotten them. Dad has been released. He's out on bond right now. I will say, and I let Mr. Eldridge know this, I looked at his bond yesterday. He's under bond conditions that he cannot be around Ariana. And there's, I believe, a MOEP in place on that also. Nothing as far as Isaiah, but as far as Ariana from the charges he was arrested on. But we have not got service on him, and after talking to Mr. Eldridge, he has not been able to speak to his client either. So I didn't know if we needed to move this one and try to get our service and see if since parents didn't appear today.
Yeah, I think since we don't have service on either parent and since, I mean, Mr. Moya, you know, he did apply for a court-appointed attorney, he qualified, and we did appoint to him. Or I can't remember, or Miss Katie, did we do that just because he was incarcerated at the time?
No, Judge, I believe he filled out paperwork.
I'm looking real quick, just so I've got it correct on the record.
He filled out some
Yeah,
paper.
he did. He did. Okay. All right. So, so he clearly qualified and he was incarcerated at the time, but, he qualified otherwise. So, you know, he's aware, obviously very aware of the case, probably aware of the hearing, but, we don't have any service. What do we know as far as mom, any contact with her?
Yes, ma'am. We've had some contact, and I can have my investigators tell you a little more, Your Honor. We have had contact with her. I don't know whether she was planning to appear. I don't know, Ms. Delgado or Ms. Vasquez. I don't know.
So I did email her the orders. She said that she was going to review them and decide whether or not she was going to sign. I did reach out to her yesterday, and then I actually just now reached out to her, and I haven't heard back from her on that. She was aware of the court hearing, but she hasn't responded since then.
Okay, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt since we haven't served, and let's reset Ms. Katie's saying May 8th at 9 o'clock or at 1 o'clock. That's the first available date. She's given several dates in the chat, so everybody else just take a look at that and see what works.
I'm not seeing the chat.
Okay, we're looking at May 8th at 9 or 1.
I could do May 8th at 1. I've got a mandatory docket call on the 3/20th at 9. If it's
Everybody else good May 8th at 1 o'clock?
I can do that.
That should be good, Jenna.
Okay,
1:30,
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
We don't believe in lunch around here.
No, I don't need any lunches anyway. It doesn't bode well for me.
Everyone here is on the DFPS diet. Okay, so we will just reset. Obviously, the order for protection will remain in effect, and we'll extend that, and then I'll see everybody back May 8th, 1 o'clock.
Hey, Tate.
Uh-huh.
Jessica Hill, the dad's social worker at the VA, was working on trying to get him a new phone. So I don't know if that has been done yet or not. She said she was going to apply for one since he's on HUD. So I know his phone might be with one of the kids, but they are working on trying to get him a new one.
Okay. I'll try I've got a number, but I don't think it's working. And I do have an email too, and we emailed the notice of this hearing. I'll keep trying. I mean, I'll do what I can.
Yeah. Understand.
Judge, Charlene just sent a chat that said
Yeah.
mom's trying to get on but having problems with the connection.
I see that. So let's let her know that we're resetting. Do remind her she is entitled to apply for a court-appointed lawyer. Make sure she's got that paperwork, and it's encourage her to get that to us ASAP, because that way we don't have any further delay.
Yes, ma'am. And it was my understanding, Your Honor, that the investigators did send that paperwork to her. They just haven't gotten it back.
Yeah, well, if we're having some communication with her right now at the moment, let's tell her judge wants that paperwork back. All right. I appreciate y'all, and thanks for adjusting, and we'll see you back in a few days.
Thanks, Judge. See you
Okay.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you.
Judge, I'm gonna run down the hall just real quick. I'll be right back. I will be looking for, you said her name earlier, Misty front of house, and Kelsey Moore will be coming in for me.
I'll bring him in and have everybody ready to go, but y'all take a short break.
Be right back.
All right, are y'all ready?
I believe so. I received an email from Mr. Hill yesterday, so I'm assuming we're still at that same spot, Mr. Hill.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Yes, ma'am, we're ready to proceed.
All right, then at this time, I will call cause number 99919E in the interest of Adonis, Isabel, Ariana, and William Brown. We are here today scheduled for our adversary hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming. Ms. Taylor is making our record. All right. I showed that Mr. Brown was personally served, and he and Mr. Hill are both present today. Ms. Zavala is present on behalf of the children, and Mr. Trout's present on behalf of the Department of Family and Protective Services, along with, looks like Misty Fronterhouse and Kelsey Moore. Ms. Collins is also present today. So, and it looks like Amanda Roberts with St. Francis Ministries is present. Also, Mr. Ramos, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, Mr. Trout, any announcements to make? Are we ready to call the first witness?
I think we're ready to call the first witness, Your Honor. Well, have we announced yet?
I announced for everybody.
Okay, I'm sorry, my brain's all over the place. Your Honor, I'm ready to call witnesses. I would ask, just in case anything comes out in this case, to go off of YouTube, just to protect the privacy of the children in some of this.
No objection.
No objection.
All right, obviously, I had read the affidavit in support of removal in the case. There is some, what I would call fairly sensitive information that I don't know whether it's going to be raised or not, but in the event that it is, I would prefer that not to be out on YouTube to protect the privacy interest of the children. So I am going to close the courtroom and stop the live stream at this time. This is our last case we have on the morning docket, so I'll resume it again when we start our. All right, I will call cause number 91150-D in the interest of Abba Muhammad. We are here today for a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming, and Ms. Taylor's making our record. All right, we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Mickey Lane is my permanency specialist today. We're present, ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Abba.
Janelle Garrett Casa.
Okay, Miss Lane, what do we have new since the court report was filed?
Yes, ma'am. So what I do have from the primary permanency specialist is that an ICPC was put in for Abba's aunt. And they are waiting on a letter from Abba's aunt for paperwork wise, agreeing to take Abba to put in for the ICPC. They have not received that letter yet for Abba because the aunt found out that the aunt found something out. I'm so sorry, but the aunt found something out and she was going to talk to the biological mother of Abba and get back to Christina, and we do not have an update on that part yet. So we're waiting on that for the ICPC to be completed. My understanding is I did get to speak with Abba a little bit, and she is doing okay. She was in a good mood when I spoke to her. She's in a home, an RTC that she's been at before with Miss Raven, and she has an established bond with this placement, and she appears to be doing well.
Okay. And I know, of course, that her child is not, we don't have that case, but she's still visiting and doing well with the baby.
She actually has not been able to have a visit with the baby, from my understanding. Something with grandma is going on, that grandma is struggling to meet the visitation needs. But I do know Houston put an ICPC in too for the aunt, so that Abba and the baby could be placed with the aunt out of state.
And Your Honor, I think there might be some miscommunication, because when I talked to Abba, she's got an in-person visit set up for tomorrow for sure. So it sure seemed like she told me she was seeing the baby, so I don't know.
Okay.
Right, so where is the baby placed right now?
So I believe that the baby's placed there locally in Houston and has not been moved to grandmother. But it's possible that something has happened that I wasn't, because I'm not a part of that other case.
Yeah.
But Abba, when I spoke with her just a few days ago, did not mention anything about the child moving to grandma. Now, Abba sometimes is very communicative, sometimes not. But I believed she was still in the Houston area at a foster placement and that they're having visits. And I do know they've got one scheduled for Friday because that's Abba's birthday.
And I may have my information not completely up to date either. So.
Okay.
And Judge, I don't know if they've done, I still kind of get filings from the Houston case. They still have me on that list for some reason, so I get some of their, when they file stuff. I want to say probably about a month ago, I thought I saw where they were going to do a hearing. I thought it said by submission, which I'd never seen before, but for her final as far as the child's case down there. So I don't know exactly where that case stands right now. I thought it was I thought it was coming up for a final, but
They
go ahead.
did have a final hearing about a month ago, I believe. And it's my understanding that it was a PMC PC situation.
That's actually what I got to, Stacy.
Okay.
Christina did mention maybe making the case easier by transferring Abba's case down to Houston. I don't know all the logistics, so I apologize, but that might be something to make it easier for Abba and the baby's case to be joined together. I don't know if that was something everybody was wanting to do in this case, so I just thought I'd bring it up today.
And
Well,
that's something we've
certainly-
talked about, but I was waiting on the appeal deadline to pass and everything to get passed before we looked into transferring that case. And we're right there I think the final order on our case was signed March 27th, so we're right at the deadline for the appeals process.
I think the court there had indicated before that they were willing to take it, and especially if we're talking about an ICPC on the same, potential relative and, all of that, it certainly makes sense. So, I think as soon as we hit that mark, then we need to look at a transfer of it.
Yes, ma'am. And we should be within the next day or two is at that mark, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ms. Zavala, anything else?
Yes, so the last time we were here, Abba had indicated that there were several different things she would like to go home and have some in-person visits, and we talked about that being a possibility, even after termination. She really wants to go home for brother's graduation. I explained to her that St. Francis is the legal parent and needs to know where she is at all times, needs to be able to reach her at all times. And the biggest roadblock to an in-person visit is mom not communicating. And I offered to talk to mom through aunt or something. I kind of explained to her, if she's not going to cooperate, we're not going to be able to have those in-person visits. She was very upset about that. I asked her about, is there anybody else you could stay with just for a night so that you could go and do that? And she wasn't able to come up with anybody. I urged her that she does have regular phone contact with mom. I urged her that the next time she talks to mom to explain that situation, that we've, somebody's got to be able to talk with her. So she said she would. I am worried about the ICPC. She told me aunt is out of the country right now. I don't know where. She didn't really know where. I am still hopeful that can go forward, but it sounds like she's not having any communication with aunt right now. I want to make sure that aunt's contact information is updated on her call list because she has made a change in placements. But again, back to a placement that she's comfortable with and that's a good fit for her. So I have worries about whether that's actually going to go forward, but I hope I'm wrong on that. And I do think that, having her case handled by the same people who are handling baby's case makes the most sense.
Yeah, well, I would say, I mean, I share your concerns about the ICPC, but I guess let's just see if what pans out on it. Okay, Ms. Garrett, anything from CASA?
Thank you, Your Honor. We did go to Houston earlier last month and visit with Abba. We went to the school to see her, and she was pulling her not being at school. So we did get to the placement to see her. She looked well, no concerns were noted. She was happy, very outgoing. The main thing right now is CASA did not realize that she had been moved until they called the last placement and was informed then that she was moved. So St. Francis did not notify her being moved. She didn't really say anything to us about the baby, so I can't give you any information on that. But whenever we did see her, she did look good and she was very happy.
Okay. All right then, well, for today, we're gonna continue the department as PMC, and we will continue her current placement. I do think we want to look at the transfer, you know, as soon as we can. So when we pass that crossroads, Mr. Trout, just, you know, remind me, and then we'll initiate, make sure that the court there is still good with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Arrange the transfer. So, okay. All right. In the event that doesn't happen for some reason, then we'll have our next review hearing October 23rd of 2025. And that's on a 9 o'clock docket. Okay. Thank you all very much. Okay, then I will call cause number 99812-D in the interest of the Morehead children. We're here on a status hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom, and we are live streaming. Ms. Taylor is making our record this morning. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Yolanda Novak is my permanency specialist. We're present ready.
Stacy Grant for the mother is Kaya Morehead, and she's present, Your Honor, in the green blouse, and I'm ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the children.
Salima's with CASA, along with Jan Cohen, who is the volunteer advocate.
Thank y'all. Okay, then, what do we have new since the court report was filed?
Judge, real quick, is Miss Riley, Tracy Riley out there?
She was logged in and in the waiting room and then fell out, and she's not logged back in, so she may be stuck somewhere in a different proceeding.
Sorry to interrupt. Yes, ma'am.
No, it's all right.
Ms. Novak.
Morning.
Morning.
The children are doing fairly well in placement. They're not sleeping well. Isaac seems to be having some nightmares. So he's up a couple times throughout the night. Excuse me. But other than that, they're adjusting well to placement. They're in daycare, attending all their medical appointments. Ms. Morehead has started some of her services, and so has Mr. Hamlin. And we're working on services.
Have they both reviewed and signed their service plans?
Yes, ma'am, they have.
Okay, great.
And Your Honor, those, just for the record, those were signed on April 15th and filed on April 16th.
Right. Okay. Any concerns today, Ms. Novak, or any particular requests with the court today?
No, both parents have submitted to a drug screen and they are still pending results. No, nothing else at this time, ma'am.
Okay.
And Judge, we're working on the paternity testing. I think Mr. Hamlin overslept or something, missed his first appointment, so we're getting another appointment for a draw for him for the swab. So, but that paternity test is in the works.
Yes, the child, I'm sorry, ma'am. The child did go and Kyra, she did make it to her appointment to be tested. I'm sorry, I forgot to let you know that. But his will be rescheduled.
Was this only as to one child?
I think we submitted it for both, and then Ms. Terry Chavez came and said that he had signed an APO for Isaac, or AOP. I'm sorry if I the wrong acronym. So they didn't submit one for Isaac, just for Kyra.
All right, somebody's got to bring me up to speed because I don't have. Have we pled in another father?
No, ma'am.
All right, so who signed an AOP?
Mr. Hamlin signed an AOP for one of the children. So we put in a paternity test for both children. The AGs sent back that there was an assigned AOP on Isaac, I believe it was. And so we have the AOP on that. We're going for the paternity test on the other child, Your Honor.
Kyra. All right, I thought I heard a different name entirely from Ms. Novak. So Ms. Taylor's saying I'm not crazy, that I did hear a completely different name. Who is that?
I'm not sure which name she said, Your Honor.
I can look back. It was Cherry, somebody.
I'm sorry if I misspoken.
I'm not exactly sure how to say the other child's first name, Your Honor, and that may be
Kyra.
Kyra.
It was a man. It was a man's name, though. That's what threw me. You said
Okay.
a different man's name had signed an AOP on one of the children. So
Elijah Hamlin. I'm sorry if I.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's what threw me off because I thought, all right, we've got a different dad being named.
I'm sorry,
down here.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're all squared away.
Your Honor, I think what she said was Miss Chavez, who is with the department that does our paternity testing. I think that's what she said.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, then. Mr. Hamlin, it's really important you make that appointment. These things are they're hard to get, and we wait a long time to get them. So please, please, please be sure you make that next appointment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then Ms. Grant, anything today?
No questions, Judge, just an update to the court that the home study that was done was not approved, was my understanding. And so I was just gonna find out if we were gonna do any other home studies.
Who was it done on?
Miss Mendoza, I believe. No, Miss
Misty Hamlin.
Sorry, one second, Judge.
Misty Hamlin?
Yes, Misty Hamlin. I apologize, Judge. We can't seem to get our names right today, Your Honor. We're going to test your skills.
I guess. Okay, so, all right, so it was denied.
Yes.
All right.
And I think
Have
the
any other
issues
names
with it are too extensive to correct, Judge, so.
Okay. Ms. Novak, have we gotten any other names of potential relative placements or anybody to do a home study on?
I have not received any other family members as of yet. Ms. Morehead may have some to give. Mr. Hamlin hasn't given me any other family members to run yet.
Thank you, Judge. That was all I had.
Okay, so if either of you have any other family or fictive kin, I mean, anybody that the children would have a significant relationship with, even if they're not family, you know, that might be willing to take placement of the children, you need to be sure and share that information with Ms. Novak or with your attorneys. Okay, Mr. Hamlin, do you have any questions today since Mr. Michelson isn't present?
Yes, Your Honor. I would just like to ask, his absence wouldn't affect my position on this hearing necessarily, one, and that would be my first question, of course.
No, it doesn't affect you at all. No.
Okay, and then I don't think I have too many questions. I have all the paperwork. I've read over pretty well. I don't believe I'm missing nothing, and they should get those results back on Thursday for my screening that I did show up for, the judge screening.
Okay. All right. Yeah. When they get those, they'll file those and everything. So, and they'll notify you of the results as well. Okay, then, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, Ms. Grant followed up on the one question I was going to have is just, are there any other home studies that we need to look at? The kids are doing well. They are placed far away. And I'd love to see if there are any other placements close by in terms of relatives. But they do seem to be doing very well there.
Even if it's not a relative, let me stress again, if there's a close family friend, if there's somebody that the children have a relationship with, you know, we place children with non-relatives, you know, I mean, it is possible. So if there's anybody else like that, you all be thinking about what your relationships are and your contacts and who the children know and would be comfortable with, that kind of thing.
Yes, Sean.
Okay. All right, and Casa.
I think she's trying to get unmuted, Judge.
There it goes. Sorry. I spoke with both Elijah and Moya yesterday separately, and both of them just seem more than willing to do whatever they need to do to get the kiddos back. I also spoke with the foster mom, Mrs. King, yesterday. The kids seem to be doing well. She's trying to get them caught up on their vaccinations. Yesterday she took Isaac to the doctor. It was just some allergies. The doctor prescribed a prescription for that.
Also, just to add, Judge, I actually did get the opportunity earlier this month, I believe on the weekend of the 10th or the day of the 10th, to go visit the children in Houston, and they're doing very well. Everything is safe. They look very happy, and they just want to encourage mom and dad to work their services, and if they need any help with anything, to reach out to Yolanda, myself, their attorneys, or Jan.
Absolutely. Okay. Very good. All right, then. Today, I'm going to find that there would be a continuing danger to return the children home at this time, but that parents have signed their service plans and have initiated services. So I find that they're in compliance with their plans at this time. I'm going to order the service plans as an order of the court. So parents, what that means is that all those things in that family plan of service are now part of a court order. So I do expect you to do them. And there's consequences to that if you don't. Okay. So I am required to tell you and make sure you understand that failure to work those services could result in the children not coming home. In worst case, it can result in termination of your parental rights. Okay. So no one wants to go down that road. You know, we want the kids to come home. We want them to have, you know, a happy home and life with you all, parenting, co-parenting. So these services are important. And you know, you may feel like you've got plenty of time to do these things, but the truth is, it takes a while to get through them. So I'm glad you both have gotten started on them. It's very encouraging. So just continue to work through them and stay in contact with everybody and drug test when we ask you to. And, you know, this can all have a really happy ending. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I will continue the children's placement. And I'll see you all back for our next hearing, which is called an initial permanency hearing. And that will be on September 2nd. And that will be on a 9 o'clock docket.
Okay.
Okay, I thank you all and best of luck in the next few months.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry.
Okay.
What was that date again?
September 2nd.
September 2nd. I'm putting it in my calendar, sorry.
Okay, no problem. You all think hard about people that you know or that know the children. We'd love to get them closer to home. You know, that's the main thing.
I have a question. I have people that I'd be okay with them going with, but I don't have family here. I'm not from Amarillo.
I understand that, which is why, you know, I encourage you to give us any names that you may have, you know, anything like that.
Okay.
Okay.
You'll send me any name you have, Miss Morehead, in an email with your relationship to them. I'll help go through it with you and we'll file out a new caregiver resource form and I'll help you do that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate you. And also just to let you know, I forwarded Rachel, an update on another child that you wanted some pretty big updates on. It's not anything too major, but she's made it to Arkansas. So
okay. All right.
And had an interview. So thought you would want to know that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great day.
Okay, y'all too. All right, then I'll call cause number 99800D in the interest of Journey Ong. We're here today on a status hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming and Ms. Taylor's making our record. All right, we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Tucker Ivy is my permanency specialist. We're present ready.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent Miss Oliver. I've attempted to make phone contact with her twice. I've emailed her. She did email me late yesterday afternoon. I sent her the link to this hearing today, but I have not had contact with her other than that email.
Stacey Grant filling in for Kendra Naranjo on behalf of the father, Min Ong, and I don't see him in the courtroom, Judge.
He is not present.
Thank you. I'm prepared.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Journey.
Okay, thank you. All right, what do we have new since the court report was filed? I know parents signed their service plans, so that's a start, I guess.
Mr. Adam. Tucker, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
There you are. Okay. Any updates since the service plan, since the court report was filed?
No, parents did sign the family plan service. There will need to be one amendment to it. We'll have to, it's a easy fix though. And then I'll e-file it. There was a drug test. The men tested negative and Tessa tested positive.
Okay, when was those tests?
April 22nd.
Okay.
Positive for what?
Benzodiazepine, hydrocodone, and marijuana.
Have you been able to speak with parents about the test?
The results for Tessa didn't come back until yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. So I texted her this morning, but I haven't got a reply yet. And I'm going to go see them today.
Okay. Have they started setting up services?
No, our parent support worker went out and talked to him though, and they need another family plan service because they lost their previous one.
Okay.
But they said they're gonna start picking calls today.
Okay. And what, you said there was something that needed to be amended on it, on the ones that have been signed and filed. What is that amendment?
Roy Timmons counseling. He can't do the counseling, so we need to put a different counseling service in there.
Okay, all right. So it's not adding a service, it's just changing counselors.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. How's the child doing?
Good. She has had some health problems. She had the heart tremors that got checked, and she was hospitalized, but that was just to do a sleep check.
Okay.
They wanted to, because she was gargling at night, and they wanted her to stay overnight to do a sleep study on her. But no major concerns came back. She did recently get a bladder infection.
Okay.
But she's very well bonded with the foster parent. And so she's doing good.
Okay. Is the heart situation, that's something they're just going to monitor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other concerns or issues that have come up that you need to talk about today?
No, sir.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Ivy, do parents seem to be, engaging with us? I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. All right.
On that, Mr. Ivy, do you have any issues getting in touch with parents?
No, sir. I know Tessa's phone was off for a little bit and she got a new number, but since then she's been in contact. She's just slow to reply.
Okay. And have you gotten a new number to Ms. Kincaid, her attorney?
No, I have not. I have a number on like paperwork, but I don't know if she got a new number.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if you have anytime you get updated information, contact information from the parents, just make sure to send it to their attorneys also so they can get in touch with them.
Yes, sir.
And with that, I'll pass the witness.
They living together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do they have appropriate housing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are either or both of them working?
Min works. Tessa does odd jobs. She does hair and she's a stylist, and so she'll do odd jobs every now and then. But Min's a barber.
All right, Ms. Kincaid?
Not much to add, Your Honor. Mr. Ivy did last week or the week before send me Mr. Ong's number because Tessa's was off, but I've tried both numbers to no avail. Mr. Ivy, I'm going to send you my phone number in the chat if you'll give that to Miss Oliver so she can, if she doesn't have it, she can contact me.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
That's all, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Grant?
Judge, I didn't receive any information from Miss Naranjo that Min would not be here today, but she did update me that he has been in touch with her office. He does agree with his service plan. She has gone over that with him and she's instructed him to start scheduling those services.
Min did tell me that his attorney told him not to come. But he also told me that, let me go find it real quick. His attorney's name is Denise.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that came from, but
I will pass that information on to Ms. Naranjo because she did send me an update in preparation for this hearing, and she specifically stated that they are agreeable to work the family plan of service, Judge, specific in her court update.
I wonder if there's a Denise in her office.
Denise is her assistant, Your Honor. And I'll also say,
I will relay that information that Mr. Ivy just said to Ms. Naranjo so she can clarify with Min.
and I'll just say, Your Honor, Ms. Naranjo did send me a signature prior to this, but she emailed yesterday seeing if everybody was in agreement. So she arranged for Ms. Grant to be here since Ms. Kincaid had not spoken to her client yet. So that may be why her office had told him not to appear because she did send a signature at one point.
Yeah, probably so. Okay. All right, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, Journey's doing really well. Just to clarify the health situation, I think there was a heart murmur that they were just gonna watch. She is still having some tremors, you know, a different thing, but they're just watching to see if they might need a neurologist to check her out for that. But she is being very well taken care of medically. I mean, they are monitoring everything that needs to be monitored. She's gaining weight, meeting milestones, doing really well in placement. So I've got no concerns about her there.
Okay. So just a primary care physician's kind of watching to see if they think a referral to a neurologist is going to be necessary.
Yes, that's my understanding. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay, then I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I will continue the child's current placement, find a continuing danger to return the child home today. Order the service plans as an order of the court, and I'll see everybody back for our initial permanency hearing September 2nd, 2025 on a 9 o'clock docket. All right, I appreciate it, Ms. Grant. Thanks for filling in.
No problem, Judge. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, too.
Thank you, Mr. Abbott.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I am not on the next hearing, so I'll just turn my camera off for that.
Ms. Vella, was that one you had some prior involvement in?
I believe so. I cannot remember what the
No,
conflict was.
this one came out of the juvenile system, and Mr. Hammonds was his attorney during the juvenile case.
Okay. Okay. Right. The ones that you've had a true conflict on, I just feel like I should put you in the waiting room, but you're fine. You didn't have any involvement with this one.
That makes sense. For some reason, I had in my head that maybe I had represented mother before, but I may be confusing my cases. So I am fine being placed into the waiting room and brought back out. I'm good with that.
Okay, we'll do it just in an abundance of caution.
Okay.
All right, who are you looking for?
Juan Herrera, or
Okay.
Heredia, sorry, I think I said that.
Put your emphasis on the wrong syllable.
That I probably did.
Judge, can I get just 1 minute? It'll take 1 minute.
Sure. Mr. Hammonds.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, senor.
I believe it is Aradia.
Any day with a chance of rain, however small, is good.
How's everything going?
It's busy. You know.
It never slows down.
Nope.
It never slows down.
No, Mr. Trout would just quit staffing cases and quit sending things to me,
Yeah.
They get mad at me when
it is pretty amazing before you and Judge Graham started doing what you're doing that the district courts were even able to stay on top of this.
Yeah.
Judge Emerson would have that day, I don't know, usually once a month, wouldn't he, the review day?
Yep.
But it was extremely chaotic.
Certainly was.
And he basically gave everybody 5 minutes.
All right, then, let's see. I've got everybody in from the waiting room that I think is here for this, so cause number 82302-2. In the interest of Braden Hyatt, we're here today on an initial permanency hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming and Ms. Taylor's making our record. Okay, we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Juan Heredia is my permanency specialist. We're present ready.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent mom in this. She should be here this morning. We've had contact with her multiple times and we've sent her the Zoom link as of this morning, in addition to last week. So I expect her to be here. If you don't mind keeping an eye on the waiting room.
I certainly will. Okay, and Mr. Hyatt, the father is not present, nor is Mr. Michael.
Judge Jessica Bray is the mother. She's got a different last name. She's got AKA.
Okay, so she's here. Sorry, I was looking
She's
for
played in
Greer.
with it. She's played in with the AKA, Your Honor.
Okay, I need to make a note.
Judge, who is Dad's attorney?
Jay Michelson.
I got you. Is he here today? I didn't hear.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He was not in an earlier hearing with us, so he must be tied
I
up.
understand. TD Hammonds for Braden, ready to proceed, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Bray, I just want to make sure that you can hear us. Can you unmute for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I also need you to turn your camera on if you've got video. Okay, thank you. All right, then. What's new since the service plan was, the court report was filed?
Good morning, Your Honor. As far as Braden goes, he had his placement, he had a placement change that was secured on the 22nd of April. He had been admitted to the psychiatric hospital for approximately a week before, and during that time, his previous placement put in a discharge. So we had to secure a new placement for him, which was done on the 22nd, the day that he was discharged from the hospital. Braden is currently doing well in his new placement. He's still adjusting and getting used to it. It is while it is still an RTC, it is a more home-like setting for him. So he is adjusting well at this time. We are currently in the process of updating all his therapists and his regular doctors because of the location. It is approximately an hour away from where he was previously placed. Other than that, he is doing well. Prior to that, he had been attending individual and group therapy and was showing some progress up until the last few weeks before that discharge was put in. In regards to the parents, both parents are on board and are working services that was asked of them in their service plans. They have also had virtual visits with Braden when he has not been admitted to psychiatric hospitals. They each get an hour apiece. The issues related to those visits have really been more at times when Braden might not be on the visit at the correct time. And that has been noted and has been communicated to his new placement to ensure that he is on there when he is scheduled to be on there, and to ensure that someone is supervising the visits. We have also reached out to the contractor that supervises those visits, and they were alerted about the change in placement so that could be updated and so that the parents could be contacted and updated on this situation. I have been in contact with the coordinator as of the other day when I had spoken with Miss Bray and Mr. Hyatt to see if they had been contacted. They still had not So I have followed up on that.
Okay. Any requests from the department today? It looked like maybe I read, I think that mom had drug tested, but you were still waiting results.
Yes, we have to resubmit that. We had an issue on our end, so that will have to be resubmitted, Your Honor.
So Juan, are you needing new test? Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah, there was on the 2054 form, where we send in the request for it, and some of it had to do because of the names on the case, especially and particularly since it's showing under Christopher Hyatt, but then it goes into it's under Jessica Bray and making sure everyone's names are correct and entered properly.
Miss Bray, what is your legal last name? You're muted. You're gonna have to unmute for me.
It's Bray.
Okay, is Greer a former last name?
That's my maiden name.
Okay, but your legal last name is Bray.
Yes.
Okay, can we go ahead and just amend Mr. Trout so that we get that cleared up and we can all start using the same thing and for the 1054s, there won't be any question about,
Yes, ma'am.
we won't have this issue again.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ms. Bray, that is that, does Bray appear on your driver's license or in a court document or?
It's on my driver's license and my social security card.
Okay. All right. All right then, Ms. Kincaid.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Heredia, Ms. Brace had some concerns about the placement changes. Can you explain why he was at a placement, then was discharged, and can you go into that a little more?
Yes, ma'am.
Bear in mind, we are on YouTube.
I was supposed to make a motion, Your Honor. If we're going to talk about that, it may come up with some information we need to go off YouTube on. If we could.
Judge, as his ad litem, I think that'd be best because I'm gonna inform the court of some things as well.
Okay. All right, any objection?
No.
None from child's attorney.
Good. All right, since we're going to get into some health care related issues then to protect the confidentiality of those issues for the child, I am going to close the courtroom.